The next thing that I did well in my business this year is I delegated a lot more of the day-to-day minutia. I delegated my email inbox, so I don't answer emails anymore unless they're extremely pertinent. And if they are, my COO will tag them and say, this is for Sumner. It goes into a little bucket. And at the end of the day, I can look at those. And in most days, there's 1 to 5 emails that need answering. And believe it or not, in years past, 2021 is a good case study, I would spend about 4 to 5 hours a day just answering emails. Now, part of that was from not having a great team that was assembled and not having clear roles for everyone on my team. And so I would do a little bit of work for Dispo, a little bit of work for acquisitions, but also a lot of it was just noise that was constantly being sent to me as the business owner. And what I learned is a lot of my responses were exactly the same. And a lot of them did not actually need to come from me. And so we trained our COO on how to take over and do my email inbox. And that's probably saved me about 15 to 30 hours a week. And it's also really reduced this reactive tendency to check my email inbox and to always be on edge about what's coming next. The next thing is I delegated just about every single internal team meeting in my business. So in our business, we have a daily sales huddle, and that's a 5-day-a-week sales huddle. I have delegated that. I no longer take part in those meetings. I do run a Wednesday team call. Another thing that I've delegated in our business is all Slack messages. So all Slack messages funnel to our COO, and if things need to slip through, they will come and hit me and he'll push them to me. Now, I'd be lying if I said that I still don't get some direct Slack messages here and there, but it's substantially less than it was even at the beginning of 2022 and in years prior. And just communicating internally and communicating via email was taking up so much of my time that doing a lot of the visionary big picture stuff just always got pushed either to the end of the day, or it would be this like can that I kept on kicking along to the next day, to the next day, to the next day. And the reality is those are the levers that we need to pull as business owners. Those are the levers that actually are going to drive results in this business. Me answering a couple dozen emails in a day does very little for moving the needle forward. And I think what can happen for a lot of new entrepreneurs, that feels like progress. That feels like work. That feels like the grind. Really what you're doing is you're just creating noise, right? And you're not really moving the needle in any meaningful direction. And so delegating a lot of this simple minutia in my business was a huge game changer. Now, of course, once we start hiring, you're going to delegate a lot of the big items in your business, right? And that's phenomenal. But what you'll still find is as you scale up, there's still just this noise that gets thrown at you. And so you got to think about your business as a pyramid, and there has to be someone underneath you that acts as a filter. And the stuff that really is important will get pushed through and will reach you, but the stuff that's not important will stop at whoever's sitting in the seat underneath you. And so you think about it like a triangle, at least that's how I've envisioned it. And it's like a reverse funnel where the stuff goes up from bottom to top, and only the most meaningful, important items will actually get pushed over to you. This has done wonders not only for time savings, but really for my mental health as well. The next thing that we did in 2022 is we raised more capital. We raised a lot more capital than I thought was even possible for us. This just opened up a world of opportunities in terms of doing bigger deals, doing more deals, and we also opened up more creative strategies for raising capital. In years past, I had just been doing joint ventures. We started to expand past that with bank line of credits. We've actually gotten mortgages on properties. And so we've been getting some more creative strategies. And some of this is what we teach inside the LEA program. I think is if we're going to scale our land business, one of the easiest items that we can do to add more to the bottom line, but also to allow us to do more volume is getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and more capital in our business. And so I really put the kibosh on self-funding. There's a few deals that cropped through, that slipped through, that were so good that I did self-fund them. In some cases, you don't want to give up any equity on the deals, or sometimes you'll run into pinches where you've exhausted all the capital that you have from deal funders or from private money. And so there was a few situations, but for the most part, I just said, hey, you know what? I will endure the cost of capital, but I'm going to direct my funds towards operations into marketing. And that actually added a level of comfort to my business as well. And in years past, I'd have a ton of money in my bank account, not a lot of money in my bank account, not a lot. And it was just this roller coaster because I was constantly self-funding and paying for the business, operations, marketing, all that stuff. And so I was on this cash flow roller coaster, and 2022 allowed me to stack because I wasn't having to go and fund these deals. It did wonders for us in terms of being able to do more deals, but it also did a lot for my sanity. I think as a business owner, you are tied to the survival of your business. It's your baby, it's your child, and to see your cash flow or your life force ripping up and then ripping down is a really emotional roller coaster to be on. So they did wonders for just having a sense of peace and calm in terms of knowing that everything was going to be okay. Hey, fellow land investor, we're going to do a quick commercial break here, and that is for our land investor Investing Accelerator program. Look, if you are looking to scale and grow a 6 and 7 figure business and go and join dozens of other land investors, you're going to want to check out the Land Investing Accelerator program. In fact, you can actually book a 1-hour strategy call with yours truly to learn all the ins and outs of running a land investing business totally for free. And through that process, we'll identify if joining the Land Investing Accelerator program is a good fit for you. This is our group coaching model. This is how we've turned beginners to 7-figure land flippers in just under a few years. We've got dozens of incredible members in there. So if you're looking to grow your land business in 2023, this is the place to be. You guys can book a call with yours truly down below, or you can head over to landinvestor.co to learn more about the LEA program. All right, let's talk about the things that I did not do well in 2022. I would be lying if I said I got it all right. Looking back, it's almost easier to focus on the things that I did wrong. It was an amazing year in a lot of ways. But there's still a lot of things I messed up. Now, you guys heard me talk about staying in my area of expertise, and I am not perfect, and I made a few offenses there. And what I ended up doing is purchasing some infill lots towards the end of the year. These were deals that on paper looked incredible. They penciled out beautifully. I bought 3 different properties in the same little subdivision. They were all roughly a buy for 50, sell for 100 to like 140. All individually looked like slam dunk deals. Utilities at the lot line. One was about a 2.5 acre and the other were 2 1-acre lots. And now some of this is just bad timing, but some of this is also breaking my rules and deviating from what I know best and deviating from what I'm good at. And when we bought these properties, this was July, August, September. They were all kind of mixed in that timeline. It was really when new home construction started to slide and the market really started to worsen. And so we are still stuck with these deals. Now, we'll probably walk away with about 20 to 30 grand profit on each one of them. So still not a bad payday. Percentage return, horrible. And these things have just been a nightmare for my team and for myself. The number of leads and false starts that we've had with people taking them under contract and backing out. And it's been a real nightmare for us. And when I look back, yes, some of this is bad timing, but more than anything is from not being principled and not following what I said I was going to follow in terms of doing what I do best, which is rural recreational. And I broke another rule. I said yes to more small deals than I should have, mainly in Q1 and Q2. I just had such a backlog of leads from months previous and years prior that I was still getting such an influx of small deals. And we had buyers waiting on the other side, and we were able to move them pretty darn quickly. But again, I think this was a distraction. And so looking back, I think I could have just ixnayed all of that, redirected those attention to more meaningful deals. I think that the overall outcome would have been better for the year. Now, talking about funding like I was previously, we did make improvements here, but I still, looking back, I think I used too much JV funding and I waited too long to bring in more creative strategies. You know, our cost of capital this year was hundreds of thousands of dollars. It was substantially higher than what it should have been. And that was really from a borderline laziness on my end, right? We had a model that was working. I had a ton of capital at my disposal, and I was just taking the quick hit of, just tying it up with a deal partner and sending it off. Now, we have really favorable terms on this capital, much better than most JV partners, but this is still, frankly, something that I shouldn't have been doing. And I had opportunities to raise debt via promissory notes, I had opportunities to use more institutional financing, and I took the easy route because it was just sitting there, it was available, it was familiar, and it ended up costing us a few $100 grand that we otherwise could have avoided. Now, this last point is a bizarre one, and I'm not gonna bore you with the full story, but I had the worst experience I've ever had with any third-party contractor, any service provider that I've ever had in my whole entire life. And I ended up hiring the worst CPA and bookkeeper combination I have ever experienced in my life. They're fine people. There's no disrespect to them on a personal level, but I got dragged through the coals, both in terms of time wasted, expense, just bad. This was a referral from another land investor, and it turned out to be a horrible fit, and I won't bore you with all the details, and I'm not here to pick fights or name names, but suffice to say, I think we need to be really, really aware of who we're working with, in particular when it comes to CPAs and bookkeepers in the land investing business. This is such a bizarre, nuanced sub-niche that if you don't have a phenomenal CPA, a phenomenal bookkeeper that knows the ins and outs of this business, in a lot of cases, they're gonna end up having you pay more, both in terms of taxes, and in some cases, they're gonna just try to drag you through the mud in terms of their personal expenses or their service expenses. And that's really what I had happen here. There's a lot of scare tactics being used There was inflated price points, and it was all around a horrific experience. And this lasted from September till the very end of December. Luckily, I was able to tee up with a phenomenal new bookkeeper and CPA. If you guys are looking for a good bookkeeper and CPA, drop me an email, drop me a DM, I'd be happy to link you up. But this has been something I've been working on for years, is trying to find someone that could help me in terms of guiding me to find better tax saving strategies, having someone that could really do my books in a fashion that was relevant to the land business. Far too many bookkeepers just don't understand how to do the installment method when it comes to owner financing, and there's just a whole multitude of issues there. And so for years I've been trying to find someone phenomenal. I thought I had found them. It ended up to be a huge dud, and this was just a poor choice on my part. Really, from the jump, my intuition, my gut was telling me something is awry here, and I had so many other things going on in my business. I took the easy road, right? I opted for, I'll give them a try, I'll give it a go, and it ended up biting me in the ass. And so I think good reminder that the easy road typically does not pay dividends, right? You either have hard today or you have hard later. I paid the price for making the easy decision in a really big way, just like I paid the price at the end of the year for using really expensive capital through JV funders in our business. So a lot of different takeaways here in terms of what we did wrong, but most of it streamlines back to making easy choices in the here and now and paying big consequences later. As I move into 2023, this is something that I'm certainly more cognizant of, is sometimes it's worth doing the grunt work today to have an easy life tomorrow. So when it comes to 2023, I'm gonna give you guys a quick synopsis of what we're going after this year. So we are doubling down on our marketing efforts like you could expect. We're bringing on another acquisition manager within our business. We are scaling our acquisitions department. What I found is this is the area on our team that we need to be funneling as much resources as we can as possible, because as we scale our marketing, our acquisition team has to scale in accordance with how much more mail we're sending out, how many more texts we're sending out. And so it's something that we are really doubling down on this year, is one, perfecting this process that we have in place, and we've gotten really good at it, and we've had huge improvements there. There's still some low-hanging fruit of where we can improve, and then bringing on just more manpower. Really what we've seen is about 100 to 150 leads per month for one acquisition manager is doable. Anything beyond that becomes pretty taxing, so we need to bring on another acquisition manager. We're also going more up market in terms of going after better assets than we were even in 2022, becoming a little more critical, a little more picky. I think especially as the market worsens, we're just a little more careful. We're scrutinizing these deals just a little more than we would have in the past, both in terms of the markets we're working in and just the quality of the deal. The next thing is we are doing value add. We are going the route of subdividing, pulling utilities, actually improving some of these properties. We currently have 4 deals that are at some level of a stage of being ready in our pipeline. Some are way far out, some are in the here and now. And really 2 of those are going to happen in Q1. At least that's what we believe, just based on how things have been going. Now, there's been a real big learning curve to these bigger deals. The sales cycles are longer. There's typically more stakeholders involved. It's a more meaningful sum of money, so there's more thought that goes into it. But this is a really exciting area for us because we're able to leverage institutional financing. We're able to do less volume. We're able to take our destiny into our own hands, force appreciation, and just have more control over our deals. And it's just a new avenue for us to bring more revenue into our business. Yes, we could just do more volume, or we can do the same volume and go after deals that are more meaningful in terms of what they can bring into our business.